everyone, my name is Tristan Johnson. Today I will be presenting to you my paper titled Orientalism Through Social Media. Does modern YouTube present accuracy with the reception of ancient Egypt? I hope you all are well. I have included my email at the bottom there. This is still a working paper, so if you have any suggestions or advice or concerns, please email me and let me know. I would greatly appreciate it. And without further ado, I'm going to go on ahead and get started. So why is this topic being discussed now in December of 2021? Well, first off, YouTube is one of the most popular media platforms. It's still, despite being nearly 20 years old, we're almost getting there. It's still one of the most popular. It frequently outperforms subscriber base with paid subscriptions like Netflix and Hulu because the information is free and anyone can access it through their phone or laptop or anything really. The accessibility of it makes it so popular. Another important contextual factor is that the current pandemic that we are all living through, if you are watching this on playback in 20 years, hopefully by then we're not still there. But just in case you didn't know, we are currently in a pandemic, and what that has, due to a variety of factors, has led to an increased rate of homeschooling, whether that be individuals losing their jobs and deciding to homeschool instead, or not being happy with the way schools are handling certain situations. Whatever it may be, there has been a recent increase in the amount of children being homeschooled. With that, YouTube can be used for supplemental educational activities in homeschool settings. So a lot of people turn to YouTube and other social media sites to learn more information about a certain topic. And you don't even have to be homeschooled. If you just want to learn about something, such as ancient Egypt, if you type in ancient Egypt on YouTube, there are countless thousands upon thousands of sources and videos out there that will give you the information that you are looking for. But with that in mind, social media is full of misinformation, as I'm sure a lot of us are aware, with the quote, war on fake news going on right now. And with a caveat of YouTube, anyone can create a video for the site. So I can sit here, record myself on my phone, and then all of a sudden I can spout information to billions of people if I have that type of audience. But with looking at YouTube also comes with looking at the study of ancient Egypt. The term that I am using throughout this entire paper is known as Egyptomania. Basically, that's just the obsession and fascination with ancient Egypt. Ancient Egypt has always have fascinated people. Different spurts, especially in recent times. I don't know if I want to say recent, but especially in the 1920s, and anytime a mummy movie comes out, there's a recent surge in the fascination with ancient Egypt. But with that, this has been discussed kind of in academic communities, but not so much in non-academic settings. So with the study of ancient Egypt, otherwise known as Egyptology, there is a sense of Orientalism. And I'll get to explaining that in just one moment, so just bear with me here. Another aspect of the study of ancient Egypt, oftentimes it's excluded from classics. This brings up a question of what exactly is a classic? Should it be called classics or should it be called ancient Mediterranean studies? Can you talk about ancient Rome and ancient Greece without touching at least a little bit on ancient Egypt? That is a different question for a different time, but just to get you thinking about that. Really what this paper and my presentation here today is to talk about is the importance of decentralizing an Orientalist mindset. So with talking about Orientalism, Oriental just means east, Occidental just means west, but to the east and west of what? So a lot of times when talking about ancient Egypt, it often takes a very European central focus. Why are we othering people from the East when we are in the West ourselves? The US is often included in that as well. It just creates a division between two hemispheres of the world. And an important aspect of that Orientalism, Hollywood often vilifies cultures of the Middle East. And so it's important to be aware of our media consumption that comes along with consuming ancient societies, particularly ancient Egypt. So now I can talk a little bit more about Orientalism. Some people think it's a negative word and some people don't understand the negative connotations with it. I'm going to explain it a bit for you today. So the conceptual framework that I'm looking at for this study is Edward Said's Orientalism. It was a book published in 1978, and in it, it explains that representations of the Orient, or the East, or in this case, ancient Egypt, they don't match reality. What we consume in our media is not always accurate to what we see in history books and in history. There's a clear division between the two. The West sees the Middle East through a Western lens, so we often put our own perceptions of what we think is, quote, right on other societies that we have no conceptualization with. And then mainly an Orientalism viewpoint and Orientalist perspectives create an us versus them dichotomy. And our goal, whether we are in classics or we are trying to gain education ourselves, should be to reduce that us versus them mindset. So pretty simple method here, just to be curious about what's going on out there in the social media worlds. One research question: what information does YouTube provide to mass audiences about ancient Egypt? Is it providing an accurate perception? Are we receiving information that is correct? That includes, I do this through a narrative analysis and content analysis, and I do this by looking at the top 25 most viewed YouTube videos by searching for ancient Egypt. Chances are, if it has a lot of views, a lot of people are watching it, unless you want to get into a bot discussion, but let's not get into that discussion right now. Chances are people will click on the most viewed video to see what kind of content is popular. And I did that. I updated the numbers a couple days ago from me filming this on December 5th of 2021. This might be hard to read, but I will break things down as each slide goes along. But here you have our top 25 most viewed YouTube videos that deal with the topic of ancient Egypt. So in total, these 25 videos have been viewed over 420 million times. And the average number of views is around 17 million per video. They range in publishers, they range in topics, length, dates. It's just interesting to take a look at. And the outlier here, the most popular video that has to deal with ancient Egypt is Walk Like an Egyptian by the Bengals. Don't worry, we will get there. I will be talking about that momentarily. So let's break this down into a few more numbers, just to kind of give you an idea of what's going on. So by the numbers, the most popular type, this is how I coded them, and I will explain this code book later as well. So the most popular were documentary or documentary styles, 9 of those. We have popular lists, which are 6, which is the type of content that you often seen shared on Facebook, like the top 10 Christmas gift ideas or top 5 best albums of all time, that type of thing. 3 videos correlate with music. 3 videos are animations for children. 2 deal with the topic of video games. 1 film commercial and 1 news source outlet. So these are what the top 25 videos look like. But what does this actually mean? That's where the narrative analysis comes in. So let's start talking about that. So we have our 9 documentary styles here. So this includes sources from National Geographic, the Getty Museum, History Channel, things like that, Crash Course. I'll pause for a second so you can take a look at this, and I'll explain further. But we also have some, we'll talk about sources soon. We have some interesting sources here that maybe aren't the greatest for obtaining historical accurate information. We'll talk about that. So for popular lists, this is where a lot of the Orientalist mindset comes into play. So for the top six, we have amazing facts about life in ancient Egypt. We have biggest fascinating facts about the ancient Egypt. We have three creepy cases for ancient aliens, 14 strange ways of life the ancient Egyptians practiced, top 10 Egyptian gods and goddesses, and 10 secrets of ancient Egypt. This is where I'll be going into more information later on in my presentation, but I wanted to specifically read all of these to you now. So for music, again, like I mentioned earlier, the #1 video that surrounds the topic of ancient Egypt is Walk Like an Egyptian, the music video by the Bangles. But then, of course, we have two more videos that deal with ancient Egyptian music. For children's animation, we've got the Cartoon Network show Ben 10. We've got a video by Emma Osborne, which we are actually going to watch together because I think that gives us a clear hindsight into what YouTube says about ancient Egypt. We'll get there. I'm real excited about that. And then we have a compilation of Pink Panther. Video games, we've got Plants vs. Zombies and Om Stories, which I had never heard of, but hey, sounds kind of fun. And then a film commercial for Gods of Egypt. It's their official trailer. That video can be a whole nother research endeavor in and of itself for another time. And then we have one news source from NBC about Egypt opening ancient coffins to find perfectly preserved mummies. So that's what our content looks like. That's what we are dealing with here. But what do these videos actually say? To start, I want to, with the magic of it being pandemic times and us getting to do this over a virtual platform, I want to talk to you all about a specific video from Solent University, a video titled Ancient Egypt by Emma Osborne. It was uploaded August 12th of 2016 and has over 21 million views, which is a lot. I'll say a lot when compared to the amount of views a typical YouTube video gets. I categorized it as children's animation. It's about 2 minutes and 43 seconds long, making it one of the shorter videos we have. And I am going to play it for you now. So let me pull that up for you here. We're going to take a look at this together. So that is the type of content we are dealing with here, folks. Super exciting. I hope that the audio worked, but if it didn't, very Arabian Nights-esque music going on in the background. I am also of the mindset, I don't know about you, that the pyramids were not built by aliens. But if that is your opinion, please email me. I would love to have a conversation with you about that. But that's the type of content that is frequently seen throughout reception of ancient Egypt on social media. That brings into whole other discussions about how it's easier to believe ancient Egyptians couldn't possibly build a pyramid, and obviously aliens could. Denying the capabilities of people of color, whole other discussion from what I'm talking to you about today, but an interesting and important one to be had about our society. And then of course I had to, with the #1 video being Walk Like an Egyptian, we of course have to look at some of those lyrics. All the bizarre men by the Nile, innuendo there for you. Foreign types with the hookah pipes. Again, this is the type of information that is often given to people on ancient Egypt and often can purvey some pretty harmful stereotypes. So when talking about these videos, how does Orientalism show through? Big conclusion here, Orientalism is very much indeed in the top 25 most viewed YouTube videos dealing with ancient Egypt. So with titles like 14 Strange Ways of Life, 10 Secrets of Ancient Egypt, Mysteries of Egyptian Pharaoh Queens, those type of words, even if you don't click on the video, it immediately tells you that this is about othering a people, othering a society. When we're all, I don't want to say we're all the same, but you get the idea. It's not the best way to use language. Sources are also important. Like I said, there were only a handful of sources that I would consider reputable when talking or when trying to obtain information on ancient Egypt. Probably the Getty Museum is probably a good one. History Channel, maybe. National Geographic, probably. But then you also have sources like WatchMojo.com, or you have BuzzFeed Opinion, or you have All Time Tens. Probably not great. They are there just to get views, which I will talk about as one of my last points in just a second. All of these videos end up othering ancient Egyptians. There's discussions to be had how we're all the same and we shouldn't be othering ancient societies, but these videos directly go against that. And they show through their content, they show that this way of life is so foreign and so far away from what we could possibly understand, and it ends up creating harmful stereotypes that are still trickling down to modern day society. One important aspect to keep in mind, I would say about 1/3 of these videos had conspiracies. Dealing with aliens, as we just saw in the video clip I showed you, over 20 million views for that video. Can we just take a second to appreciate or be concerned about that? I find it crazy. I don't know, but that's the type of information people are consuming. So it is important to be aware of. But one of the videos was titled 3 Creepy Cases for Ancient Aliens. A lot of conspiracy content out there, which brings me to Egypt as a tool to gain views. As I said, Egyptomania, ancient Egypt has fascinated the West for hundreds and hundreds of years. So we know that typically people are going to want to consume content surrounding ancient Egypt. So by including conspiracies or including a story that's just placed in the middle of ancient Egypt that really has nothing to do with the culture or people there, can be used as a manipulative tool to get views for your content, as a lot of these sources who have nothing to do with history do. So some rapid fire conclusions for you. Media literacy is important because consuming factual information is necessary for combating Orientalism and lowering stereotypes and trying to lessen the impact of stereotypes that have been around for thousands of years with the East versus West discussion. Moral of the story, YouTube is, quote, not a safe site to consume ancient Egyptian content. Again, there were only around 5 videos from good sources. With YouTube being a site where anyone can create content, I can upload a video tomorrow saying how aliens built the pyramids, and I could potentially get millions of views, be on this top 25 list, and all of a sudden I'm impacting a generation. So what do we do about this? I don't think we can change what people upload to social media. I think we have to teach ourselves and teach others the importance of media literacy, teach others to check their sources, to read up on other opinions to get a balanced site. This is where my communication and media background comes in. Media literacy is essential for combating stereotypes, for just obtaining a well-rounded education on history and other cultures. And here are just some of the references that I included on my presentation today. Thank you all so much for listening. I really appreciate it. And I hope you have a wonderful day and a wonderful rest of your time at our conference. Take care. Bye-bye.